Don't go breaking my heart.
Don't go breaking my heart.
I couldn't if I tried.
Oh, honey, if I get restless. This is a good song.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the OU Music Review. Hi, I'm Erica, and I'm here with some cool people, and we're going to be talking about music. So over here is my good friend Al. Al, what's up?
How's it going, Erica?
I'm so excited to do this today. How are you?
I am unbelievably excited. We're finally doing music on OU. I can't wait.
I'm so excited. And we have with us, you've seen her in some of the other shows, Miss McKenna. McKenna, what's up?
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here on our very first episode of Music in Review. So
Absolutely.
let's jump into it. We've been talking about doing music for a while, and I'm so glad that we finally got a chance. We kind of had these 3 songs from 3 bands that we really, really love come out just right in a row. And I'm like, all right, Al, this is it. This is the time. Let's do it. So today we're going to be talking about 3 different songs again. Sticky by the Maine, Once in a Lifetime by All Time Low, and Numb by Waterparks. So, like I said, let's just jump right into it. So first we're going to be talking about Sticky from the band called The Maine. So it is the first single and first track off of their new album, which is their 8th studio album called XOXO, from Love and Anxiety in Real Time, due out July 9th of this year. So excited for new music. It's been about 2 years since they've released an album, so I'm ready. I know Al's ready. He's got his book in the background there. It's a very good book. Very excited for that album. So John O'Callaghan says about this album, it is quite literally a real-time dive into the duality of love and anxiety in my life. They are such opposing feelings, but they coexist all the time in my head. Life is a funny thing, but I believe everything is exactly as it should be. For my 2 cents, XOXO is the best part of the Maine. Just the right amount of ambition and nostalgia. It can be an easy listen or a hard look into the mirror. I hope it's whatever you need it to be. Which I really think sums up a lot of the Maine's albums in general. So this was from an interview he did with AP whenever the song came out on March 19th, like I said, a few weeks ago. So super exciting. Song was written by Garrett Nicholson, Jared Monaco, Pat Kirsch, Kennedy Brock, Andrew Goldstein, and of course John O'Callaghan, the guys from the Maine. Produced by Andrew Goldstein and The Maine. So let's jump into the lyrics, because just the first 2 lines, I love this. When I see your face, it's like I hit rewind because you're on repeat, just like So Good in Sweet Caroline. Right off the bat, I'm just thinking so good, so good, so good from Sweet Caroline, because I mean, hey, that just automatically throws a good feeling into my head. I don't know, what about you, Al?
I loved this one. The riff that starts the song off is unbelievably catchy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one that'll stick in your head, no pun intended. I like that whole riff goes through the entire track and it doesn't change. And I'm pretty sure even the chord progression is the same, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it just keeps going, and then there's so much added to it with like the vocal melodies, like starting off with the riff and then going just around and like bouncing around and hitting the notes exactly, or just like hitting just around the notes. It's unbelievably awesome. I like it. Yeah, I like this song.
What about you,
I like
Mac?
it a
What
lot.
are your initial feelings on this song?
I really liked it too. I liked it musically. I liked the lyrics, that the so good, because you're on repeat, just like So Good in Sweet Caroline. That was probably my favorite line in the whole song, because I have such like significant memories associated with specifically So Good in Sweet Caroline, like just Sweet Caroline in general. So I that like really pulled me in right off the bat. So I just really like this song a lot.
It's a great parallel to bring the So Good in Sweet Caroline, I think, just because it is a song that, a lot of people, I think, make that, great memory with is just, you know, a lot of people think of, you know, celebrations at sporting events with Sweet Caroline and things like that. You know, it's a celebration, especially that so good part. You know, it's always a happy moment. And to come back around to what Al said, that progression, even when it almost feels like he's kind of fumbling over the words to keep up with the progression, I love that. Like, it's almost like it doesn't fit, but at the same time it does.
That is intentional. Yeah.
And it is so intentional, and I love it. And it's very much in the Maine's wheelhouse, I think. Just if you go back and listen to some of their older music, it's different. They don't fit the mold, and that is some of the things I love about them. And it kind of goes, and it's, you know, I hear your heartbeat echo, I feel the same rush all over for the first time all over again. And it doesn't fit with that, you know, pattern in the music, but it's kind of just like with the heartbeat echo, like, you know, you kind of get that feeling of your heartbeat skipping a beat because you see this person that has your head, you know, sticky with this, you know, feeling, and it's great. And I love how this song makes you feel, because it is a happy song that is stuck in your head. I listened to this song so much, and even when I wasn't listening to it when it first came out, I was still singing it all day long because it is so catchy and it's great. Also, I really like the callbacks. Callbacks are something I love in songs, and this one has a great one, and it is, and I finally found those letters lost under my tongue, which is a phenomenal callback to a song called Black Butterflies and Deja Vu off of their album a couple albums back. I can't find the sound under my tongue when I look at you, and there's only 26 letters I can use to tell you I won't let go. And then he finally brings this call back to this song where it's, and I finally found those letters lost under my tongue, and I was just like, this is great. This is fantastic.
That's so awesome.
And it's the coolest callback. He did just recently get married too, which is super, super cool. So it's almost like, it's like he finally figured it out, and this is just super, super cool. I love this.
Found a sticky person.
Jesus.
He did. And it's super cute. I love this line in this song though, and I know we're gonna definitely get into some callback stuff later in the show with another song, but this is one of the best. And I think whenever I heard this line, I kind of let out one of those just like squeaks, because it was just Black Butterflies and Deja Vu is probably one of my favorite songs from the Maine. It was definitely one of my favorite songs from that album. And because Lovely Little Lonely was a phenomenal album. And that song is just a great one from that album. But yeah, this callback was great, and I love it. So this song is awesome though, and it makes me very excited. It's a great opening track, I think, especially for an album. Like I said, this is going to be the first one off of the next album. It's a great, I mean, off of their last album, You Are Okay, that, I don't know if anything's ever going to top how that album opened. It was such a, with the, you know, breakdown, no music, just the words, was such a strong opening from the last album. But with this song, I think it's so big and catchy and everything. I think it's a great way to start an album, and I think it's going to be good. I'm very excited.
Is it the opening track for the next album?
This is the opening track right now on the track list on Apple Music.
Makes
It
so
is
much
the
sense.
opening track, so it is listed as track 1. So I'm pretty pumped. We'll see. I'm guessing it's going to stick. Ha ha ha. Ba-dum-ching. All right. Any
Three
final?
sticky puns.
Yes. I mean, you
in
knew it
like
was
less
coming.
than 5 minutes.
Come on. Any final thoughts on this one, McKenna?
I just really like the song. It definitely wants to make me listen to more of the Maine, more of the band, particularly the one that has the callback lyric. Yeah, I really like this song a lot.
Yeah. And so I know when we were setting up this episode, I've been listening to the Maine for years. I kind of got Al into the Maine with their last album. And now when we were talking the other day, I was like, Mac, I need to make you this playlist. And I
Mhm.
think I hit you with like so far 140 songs, somewhere around there, of
Yeah.
just a
Mhm.
mix of everything. Um, and so you're kind of just getting into them, which is great. And I know I will spew the Maine stuff forever because they're just one of the coolest bands with how they present themselves with they do everything themselves. Why pay money to meet other human beings, culture, and really promoting themselves through their fan base and word of mouth and everything else, which is just super cool because you don't see that often. You're seeing, the billboards and the promotions and everything else when these guys are really going and putting the work in themselves, and I love it. So I can never say enough good stuff about these guys, and I will continue to do that probably forever and ever and ever, and I love it. So, yes. Al, how about you? Anything else?
The one thing that I liked about the Maine when we were making playlists for each other was they're so different, and their approach to songwriting and composition is just refreshing.
It
Let's just
really
say that.
is.
Yeah.
Um,
And they don't disappoint in this one. It's obviously has all those qualities and characteristics of the ones that I liked when first listening to the Maine. So yeah, this is good. I love it. I love the track.
it's funny you bring up songwriting because they have typically written all of their songs themselves. They don't bring in co-writers very often. This album is the first one, I believe, since I think he said Black and White, maybe. It's been a while that in that same interview with AP that John O'Callaghan said that I think there's 4 songs on this album that they actually have co-writers on. The last time they had them on an album, it left such a bad taste in his mouth. He never wanted to do any co-writing with anybody else. And this is the first time in a long time that he's ever written anything with people outside of the band, which is kind of cool. But you're right. They have such a different angle, and it's so honest, I think, is a good way to put it. Um, you can have a song 1 minute just be so uplifting and fantastic, and then the next song just be so heavy-hearted and really make you, it's like he said, it can be an easy listen or a hard look into the mirror. And I think that is the best way to describe almost every Main album. There are times where I will just want to go for a good run and listen to them, and there's going to be times where I'm laying in my bed under my blankets crying because
Sobbing.
just, and that's just how their music is. And it's fantastic, and they have quite the way with words, and I can't wait to see what this album brings. It's going to be awesome as usual, I'm sure. Plus, I can't wait to get my bucket hat because they had a bucket hat with pre-orders, and I'm very excited about that. I haven't had a bucket hat since like the late 90s, I think, so early 2000s. I'm very excited. So it's gonna
I
be
want to
awesome.
see a picture of you in your old bucket hat.
I can probably find you one, I'm sure. So that'll be a project for later. But yeah,
New music and Erica in a bucket hat. Things to look forward to.
absolutely. Awesome. Well, let's jump into song number 2. Al, what do you have?
I have the new single from All Time Low, which again Erica introduced me to. It's called Once in a Lifetime. I'm not sure if it's going to be on an upcoming album yet, or if there's a title for the. It's just a single, right?
Yeah, that's as far as I know. It was kind of they do this text messaging service, which I kind of love. You see a lot of bands doing it nowadays, and it's a good way to keep in touch with fans, and it's really nice. And they, it got a new number, and they kind of sent out, they're like, hey, make sure you update your contact information. By the way, here's new music. And I got that text, and I let out that little screech at my desk, and the first thing I did was sent you and our friend Jesse the link to the new song, because I was like, oh my god, new All Time Low music. I need to tell people because it's so good. And yes, I was very, very excited about this one. So
Right out the bat, I think for me, the thing that I noticed immediately was the production quality. This is like the best produced song out of these 3 songs, and I don't know if that's like, I don't know. I think the only see you're gonna hate me for this, Erica. I don't like the vocal melodies so much because there's not much for me to connect to in terms of like 2000s pop punk, like Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy. That was never, not really never, but I think I was veering away from pop punk at that during that era, and I think there's no,
Show you my
I
shirt.
can't. Exactly. I can't imagine how nostalgic this would be for someone who loved Panic at the Disco, for example, because that's very reminiscent of that for me. It's very fun. It's a lot of fun. It's just the vocal melodies were not my cup of tea, but the song in terms of production and composition is fantastic. Erica, now you can yell at me.
You know, I as someone who was a fan of Panic in the Disco back in the day, because I'm going to put that out there very clearly. Back in the day, I was a Panic at the Disco fan. Um, I'm not saying that they're not okay now, but I was more of a fan of the old school. Give me 9 in the afternoon. I was a
Yes.
huge fan
Yes.
of that second Panic at the Disco album, and you better believe we are going to review that because I love that album with all of my heart.
Nice.
I I loved that kind of stuff. This really, I don't know if it reminds me so much of the Panic, probably a bit more of the Fall Out Boy side of things, but still, even in the same way, I think it was more that it kind of led me more towards a State Champs vibe, I really want to say. Or even, I don't know. I love this song, and I really do. And I want to say it actually gave me more of a mid-range of the All-Time Low vibe. So it really wasn't, not really the latest All-Time Low album, but also not like their first album. I want to say almost more, and people are going to hate me for this, Dirty Work era, which was not a well-received album, even though I thought it was fantastic.
That's why I was not expecting this song to sound like this, to be honest.
And
Because
me
what I've
neither.
heard from what the songs you sent me of All Time Low don't sound like this particular type of vibe. I don't know.
No. What do you think, McKenna, since you are new to this type of music? What do you think?
So, I completely missed all time. I technically still am a big fan of Fall Out Boy. I was a fan of Panic at the Disco.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just I was not listening to pop punk during that era, you know? So
I
I
missed a
don't have
huge
that
chunk of pop
nostalgic.
punk, too.
Yeah, I did too. I completely skipped over All Time Low. I know some of their songs, but like, I didn't delve into any of them. But this one was, I said, oof, way too relatable right now for my own good. And I also got very excited because they said the band name in the chorus.
Yes.
That made me very excited. I love that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I enjoyed the song. Tears may have been had, but it's all good.
I'm not going to
like
lie.
it.
I cried at my desk when I listened to this song, so I can completely relate.
But I
The lyrics
enjoyed
are phenomenal. I also forgot to add that.
Yes.
So yes.
Yeah, lyrically, this song is, and you know, All Time Low has a thing with releasing just singles, so I'm totally cool with this being just a single. They did that with Birthday, and there was another one, Everything Is Fine, because they released a vinyl called Everything Is Fine on Your Birthday, and it was Birthday on one side and Everything Is Fine on the other, which is fantastic. And so I'm totally cool with them just doing this as a single, and I love the cover art. It's just very it reminds me of that like almost NSYNC Backstreet Boys album cover kind of thing. It was cute. I loved it. And also, speaking of them saying the name of the band in the song, fun fact, All Time Low actually gets their name from the band Newfound Glory because there was a lyric in their song called And It Feels Like I'm at an all-time low from their song Head on Collision. So
See that I know. The Newfound
Yeah.
Glory. I'm very familiar with.
There's actually another band who got their name from a New Found Glory song, and forgive me while I think about it because it's going to take a second, but I'll get there. The story so far, there it is. I just had to sing the song for a second in my head. I wasn't going to sing it out loud because I want you all to stick around and finish listening to this podcast. Thank you. Yes, the story so far also gets their name from a New Found Glory song. So, and New Found Glory has been around forever. And so, yeah, there's actually two bands who got their names from two of their songs, which All Time Low is one of them. And yes, I love the fact that they actually say the band name in the song, which is absolutely great. And yes,
have they ever done that before?
I don't think so, actually. I think this might be the first time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, this is no, actually I feel like they might have. I don't know now. Now I'm gonna second guess myself. They may have said it before.
It's okay. Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. They might have. I feel like they may have, but I feel like it might have been on a B-side song that they have.
That doesn't count then.
Yeah, okay, fair. That's fair. I think it may have been on a B-side song if they did, but I'm not 100%. I'm gonna kick myself if they did though. But yes, this lyrically, I think I'm not gonna say out of all three songs lyrically this one's the best because Numb blows my mind. And I can't wait to talk about it, but also this song I think personally hits me the hardest out of all three of these songs.
Lyrics are definitely relatable. Maybe not the best out of the three, but
they're so relatable.
Just like you said, McKenna.
And I think it's this. I look at you, look at me, feeling kind of tragic, dazed and confused, hard to see where we lost the magic. I never meant to be hypocritical. These fucking crazy rides left me cynical. That verse right there, like even just saying it, kind of gives me goosebumps and chokes me up a little bit. And if we're lucky enough to have concerts this summer and Sad Summer Fest actually happens, where 2 out of 3 of these bands we're talking about today will be, I'm going to be a sobbing emo girl mess, and I can't wait because, yes, it'll be fantastic. But, because, yeah, All Time Low is supposed to headline this year, and obviously the Maine will be there because it is their tour. So, yeah, that would be incredible. But this is a good song. I very much like this. And you're right, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything over the top about this one as far as, you know, the riffs or the chords or anything else goes. Just lyrically, this is up here, All Time Low. This is peak great music from them, and I love it. So
yeah, back to like how the vocal melodies weren't my favorite, but lyrics and in terms of production, it's definitely something very special, this track. So there's definitely that.
I also realized that there's music videos out for all of these songs, and I did not watch any of them.
Neither did I. Well, we're reviewing the tracks, the actual songs, so we'll do a different music video review then.
Yeah, we'll have to. I also noticed after I said that line, I never meant to be hypocritical, and then this fucking crazy ride left me cynical. That's also a great callback to some kind of disaster. I'm a liar, I'm a cynic. Didn't even pick up on that. That definitely could be a good callback to that song, which Some Kind of Disaster was a phenomenal song. I relate to that song way too hard. So, yeah. They also, there could be a couple other callbacks to a few songs on that album. Actually, it could be a callback to Sleeping In here as well. Very cool.
Any final thoughts about the song, McKenna?
It's just the lyrics. The lyrics, man.
Yeah, I think we all agree on the lyrics being fantastic.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't think that can be said enough about this one. It's just the lyrics. And I think that is, again, a common theme we're going to see today with these 3 bands. I know it's something that I don't shut up about a lot, is the lyrics. Yeah. The lyrics in a lot of these bands. It's kind of one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this podcast, was just so that I could talk about lyrics in a lot of these bands. And that's kind of why we're doing this first test episode, just to see how it does. And So hopefully we get to talk about cool lyrics some more because I love them. Patreon shoutouts for the month of April are Mr. Mac 92, Kesselwinks, and Caesar Towers. Thank you guys so much for pledging.
Thank you.
We
all.
love you!
Shall we move on to the third track?
Oh yeah, let's do it because I'm so excited. This is why I wanted to leave Numb for the last, honestly, because
Okay.
you're gonna have to probably cut me off. Just saying. So let's talk about Numb from the band Waterparks. I'm so excited about this song. So this is their third single, actually, off of their upcoming album Greatest Hits, due out on May 21st. Like, right before my birthday. Best present. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Listed right now to be track number 4. This song was released on March 29th, but actually made its live debut on March 27th when they did their anti-tour, which was great. Their little live thing that they did. So, super cool thing, and I love with Waterparks. I'm going to throw this out there, even though I'm going to try to not talk about how awesome they are too much with their album. So their new album is called Greatest Hits. At first I was like, oh, they're doing a Greatest Hits album? That's cool. And then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, but wait a second. No. So let me list off their albums that they've released so far. So first was Airplane Conversations, then Blacklight, Cluster, Double Dare, Entertainment, Fandom, and then Greatest Hits. Do you see the theme? Do you see the theme? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So it's not a Greatest Hits album. It's a new album called Greatest Hits. And it's so cool. Like, it's genius, and I love it so much.
Can you talk about the hint that was in the previous?
Exactly. So also, he just released, I believe it was last week, a tweet that said, it was kind of right in front of us all along that if you go to the last page in the CD jacket from the last album, coming up next, the Greatest Hits is actually one of the last lines in the the CD jacket from the last album. So
How cool is that?
it's so cool that, I mean, he really does have a lot of this planned out. And I talk a lot about how Austin Knight is a genius, and it's stuff like this that really, like, people do not appreciate how smart this boy really is. And yes, I'm gonna call him a boy because he's way younger than I am, so I'm allowed to. He is so smart, though. He really, really is. Like, just genius. Also, we're going to have to put the link in the description. There's a fantastic interview he did with a news station from Pittsburgh when they were here for Warped Tour a few years ago, where he pretended to be somebody else, which was the most hilarious thing ever. The news station was out at Warped Tour because was super hot and people were getting dehydrated and passing out, and they had to do this like big emergency thing because, you know, it was, you know, people were being silly at concerts and not hydrating properly and such. So, you know, but he did a great interview with them, and it's definitely something you should watch. And also why journalists really need to check their sources before publishing things. It's great. So we'll put that link in the description. Y'all should watch it though. Anyways, let's get back to this brilliant song because, okay, first, before I get into it all, I want to know, Mac, what were your thoughts on the song Numb?
Oh, I liked it a lot. I really oh my gosh. Okay, I liked the music. I particularly enjoyed the fast bits. Like where he just rattled it off, and it was brilliant. Because I really enjoyed the song.
Yes. I do too. How about you, Al? What did you think? Your first just initial thoughts on Numb?
Where do I start? Okay.
It's a great question.
It gave me some weird Offspring vibes. I don't know why. Those chords, and it's another one of another song where the chord progression doesn't change. It's the same chord progression all throughout the whole song, which is fantastic. But they don't, the way they like add, like they, as musicians would say, decorate it, not with like other there's some keys in there that are doing like great arpeggios throughout the thing. He changes his vocals in terms of like what McKenna was referring to, where it's almost like rapping in a sense, and then there's that fantastic breakdown towards the end.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I love it. I love it so much. And I think all of that stuff that was added, like, because I think the limitation of the same chord progression throughout the whole song is the reason we have those, like, the breakdown, for example. I think it's fantastic. I love it very much.
I agree. I love this. And yeah, so when I first listened to the song, like I said, the first time I heard it was obviously the live version, and I just kind of sat there and I was staring, and I just was like, oh my gosh, this is good. Like, this is very good. So like I said, this is the third single. The one that they did before this was one called Snow Globe. It's very calming. It's very soothing. It's got a bit of auto-tune. Again, it's stuff that he didn't really dive into a ton before, but you kind of saw a little bit in the last album with songs like Worst and things like that. And he even called it out in one of the songs, like, I put auto-tune in Worst and everyone freaked out, things like that in different songs. And it's just, this song was like kind of like the polar opposite. Okay, and they also put out Low Key as Hell, which is another fantastic song. Again, kind of, I don't want to say it's not quite as the calm and soothing as Snow Globe is, but it's not what this song was, which was fantastic, and I loved it. And I love that, I don't want to say they're going back to some of the harder stuff, but it's definitely not just the poppy punk stuff that they were doing for a bit. He is such a musical genius, and I love when he'll post these videos where he shows the layers and the breakdowns and things like that he actually puts into these songs, and it's incredible. And I kind of wish that more musicians would do it, just because it's cool to see the process, but it's also cool to just see how much really goes into some of these songs. Like, you're just like, oh, they're just doing guitars and drums and bass and blah blah blah, and it's not just that. Sometimes, like, he's like, I did this layer, and then this is like seashells, and this was me walking on the beach, and this was me doing this, and it's so cool. It's so cool, the stuff he does. And I can't wait to see some of the stuff that he did for this album, just because obviously he did this during a pandemic, so it wasn't him walking on the beach, I'm sure, this time, but I'm sure he still found ridiculously creative ways to make cool stuff. I mean, I know he said that he did hundreds of demos before he decided on this album, and I can't wait to see what the rest of it, like, we still have about a month and a half to go. I can't wait. Like, I can't wait. I kind of hope we get another single before then. I'm being a little greedy on that, but I can't wait. I cannot wait. And we're gonna go into the lyrics now before I go way crazy off the deep end. So, because right into the first line we have a callback. Like I said, there are so many callbacks, and I'm sure there's probably more that I'm missing. But how can I be a black hole and your favorite constellation? So the first thing I think of is there's a line from a song called Lucky People that is, I'll be your optimistic black hole, which is probably one of my favorite lines out of any song ever, just because it's so freaking cute. I love it. I'll be your optimistic black hole. Like, I don't know. That line relates to, I very much relate to that line a lot. But I love that callback right away, and it's fantastic. We do have a few other callbacks in here, which is, let me find it. So we have Hello to the Fandom. Obviously, Fandom was the last album where he did, one of the biggest things he did with that last album was he really called out the toxic fandom a lot, which is something that I know I talked about a lot, with how you see these things online all the time. People not happy with this, not happy with that. Like, I couldn't even imagine being in a band and stuff like that, and people saying some of these things to people. It's crazy. And he has this one, he has this great line in a song from the last album that is, rappers can sing country songs, and that's cool, but if we did that, it would be like the end of the world, because you can't do that kind of stuff. And I love how he can still write songs like that and still be super successful, and it's really, really cool. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Give me some thoughts while I'm picking apart this song some more. So Mac, what do you think?
The line that I wrote down that I enjoyed the most, or could relate to probably the most in this song, the more I wrap myself up, the more I'm coming undone. It's like, yeah, that's that scares me a little bit, but I know it's gonna happen eventually. But that really, like, especially right now with everything that I'm doing, the more and more I do it, the more and more I'm scared of, like, it all just come crashing down. But I don't know, it just really, like, stood out to me, in particular, that line. Yeah, I like that line a lot.
Yeah, and I think the what I've read from this one is, you only like me when I'm numb. The more I wrap myself, the more I'm coming undone. He actually took a really long break from social media because he typically runs the band account as well, and he was just like, yeah, social media just, I believe the tweet was, social media just, kills the creative process, and he just left. He's like, yep, done. And you just didn't hear anything from him for a while, and that was it. And that was basically it, and then that was, he's spoken so much about his anxieties and everything like that, which is so cool to hear from, I mean, obviously it's not cool that he has anxiety and all of that, but it's so nice, to hear, like, someone actually speaking out about all of that stuff, that, hey, we all go through it sometimes. And, he's like, yep, this sucks, and I'm going to take a break. And he did. And he writes about it in these songs. And it's kind of nice, like, that it's refreshing that not everybody, as much as I love these other two songs, are just writing about, love songs and regular stuff. It's, he's writing about the actual, these actual real things too, which is super, super cool. And you see it a lot, which is awesome. Like, this isn't just a one-off time that he's writing a song like this. He writes these songs on every album, which is great. Like, he doesn't have fear about writing songs like this, which is what I think is really cool. So, what about you? Any lines stick out?
I did not mention lyrics at all for when I talked about this one, but these might be actually my favorite lyrics in all three songs, for sure. It's very straightforward. It's very, like, it's a short song too. Like, it is 2.5 minutes, and it just starts and never stops, and I love that. Well, a line that I really like is when he says, "You're too cool for me, but motherfucker, I look good today." Like, that's what, kind of like what you were talking, like, just real shit, for lack of a better term. Lyrically, just musically, this ticks all the boxes for me. I like it a lot.
Yep. And again, like, I started talking about, so Hello to the Phantom obviously was, talking about the last album, Hello to the Fandom. Please Don't Have a Tantrum, again, was a song on the last album, was a song called Tantrum, which was basically a song, like, of him just yelling. And it was a great song. It was awesome. I loved that song. And it was on the last album. It was a great song. It was fantastic. And it was just like him getting it all out. And there was a great line in the song that was, "Excuse my tantrum, can't you see I've got my hands full?" And I love that line. And it's a great song. And just even this pre-chorus is just, because if this here ain't a stick up, then why do I got both my hands up praying? I'm just saying, you're either dying or you're playing. Either way, I'm in the conversation. And he's got it right. Like, you're always like, either I'm doing this or I'm doing that, but you're still talking about me. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, And yeah, and like I said, it's like, you only like me when I'm numb. Okay, you only like me when I'm just this shell of a thing that you can do with whatever. And like, and he sings about it there's a song called Dream Boy in the last album. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's Dream Boy, yay." And it's like, actually, Dream Boy, if you think about it, is actually a song about how he's everyone's got these expectations of him. Like, it's what everyone's expectations are of him, to be the dream boy of, you know, this perfect person. And, you know, it's like I said, I could talk about Waterparks for hours and hours and hours and hours and never shut up about them, which we're not going to do today. But there's a lot that goes into this. I think probably one of my favorite, I love this second verse. My band and I are like Coldplay, that's allowed to say the fuck word, which I just think is hilarious. I started cracking up because, I mean, I don't know. I've never been the biggest Coldplay fan. I know I'll probably get shit for that, but that's okay. I just thought it was hilarious. And then you're like the biggest scummy, bummy, dummy, ugly motherfucker. Okay. It's kind of funny, but I love it. And then, because you can't look past caps or the jokes I make because you hate to laugh, you're too cool for me. Again, and like you kind of pointed that line out already. This whole thing, okay, you can't look past caps. He uses all caps on Twitter, which is hilarious. I think it's funny. It's his thing. Leave him alone. Like, it's funny. It's funny. Exactly. Like, but people want to call him out for it. Why? Just leave him alone. It's fine. It's fine. He's not hurting anything. And then if he doesn't use his caps, it's like the end of the world. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. Like, it's just, you know, I love these songs where he is just super open and honest. But motherfucker, I look good today. Self-care, green hair, looking cute today. And I love how he enunciates cute in this line. And I love how I love this line in general, just because, I don't know, maybe it's because I dye my hair all the different colors and everything. I just like, I relate to this line, I think, the most. And I hope that the self-care, green hair, looking cute today thing means that at least he's feeling better about everything, you know? And that's what I hope for, because he just seems like the coolest person and awesome. And I love this line a lot. I think that might be one of my favorites. I love this song though. And I've loved all 3 songs so far that have come off this album, and it's making me very excited. I don't think there's ever been a Waterparks song that's come out that I don't like. There's some that I don't like as much as others, but I don't think they've ever released a song that I don't like. And with them having 3 songs out already from this one that I'm already all about, I'm ready for this album to come out. Definitely. So, what do you think, Al? Final thoughts on Numb?
Again, it checks all the boxes for me. Like, there's nothing bad to say, but I can't find a con in this. It's fantastic. It's short, sweet, but not really that sweet, because it's like also aggressive in the best of ways. Yeah, and that breakdown, fantastic.
How about you, Mac?
Yeah, I agree with Al. I couldn't find it. I mean, not that I was looking for anything bad about it, but nothing stood out to me that was like, ugh. Like, it was all around just fantastic. And this is the first song by Waterparks I knew was by Waterparks. And I remember that, so Erica mentioned making a playlist for me. I remember this song in the playlist because of that fast part. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then when I was listening to the songs last night for this, I was like, oh my god, it's that song! This is incredible! So I was really excited to like be able to deep dive into it. But yeah, I liked it a lot.
Awesome. Very good. Well, I'm glad that we all like these songs, because I'm sure we won't all like every song that we do reviews on. So that makes me super duper happy. Awesome. All right, Mac, why don't you tell the good people where they can find you, because you have some awesome stuff coming up.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at PotterPants212. I am part of Patch Notes, at Patch Notes Vids on Twitter or Patch Notes on YouTube. And I'm hosting a podcast that's coming out in a couple weeks called HBO Max, MAK''S, for legal reasons. Where we're gonna review, my friend Jose Ruckus and I are going to review everything on HBO Max, MAX, with guests.
Yeah, it's coming out
Yay.
soon.
Very excited for that. I'm so pumped. I cannot wait to watch that. Like, it's
I
gonna be
can't believe it's
amazing.
happening.
I can't believe it's happening either. For like
So
something
exciting.
that was just kind of like a fun joke, and now is like
Mhm.
something super cool. I
Yeah.
mean, isn't that how most of these start? I mean, I know ours just kind of started out as me and Ben one night going, we need something me, you, and Al can talk about TV shows, and now look at us. So yeah, go. I mean, yeah. So I get it. It's definitely fun, but I'm very excited for you, and I can't wait to watch that. So, Al, where can everybody find you?
Right here at the oupod.com and over at simplysassyvids.com is where people can find me.
Hi, Kitty. Awesome. And as usual, you can find me at Ambelina on Twitter. You can find us all at the oupod.com, all the Patreon stuff, all of the different shows, all of the cool things we're doing. We hope you liked the music show. Hopefully we will be able to do more soon. Hopefully Mac won't be too busy for us and she can come back and join us again. But she is super cool and popular, so we don't know. So hopefully, you know. But hopefully she can come back and do more stuff with us because we love having her here. So, but until next time, keep it unofficial.